Some people feel most at ease when life stays within familiar boundaries. The same routines, the same environments, the same rhythms create a sense of steadiness that others may overlook. While novelty excites many, predictability calms something deeper for these individuals. This tendency is often framed as fear of change or lack of courage, but that interpretation misses what is actually happening inside. Loving the comfort zone is rarely about avoiding life. It is more often about how the nervous system maintains balance, safety, and continuity. To understand this pattern, it helps to look at comfort not as limitation, but as a form of internal stability. Comfort as nervous system predictability. For people who love staying in their comfort zone, predictability is not boring, it is regulating. Familiar environments allow the nervous system to anticipate what comes next without remaining on alert. There are fewer surprises to scan for, fewer adjustments to make. When the surroundings are known, the body relaxes into a steady state. Energy that would otherwise be spent monitoring uncertainty becomes available for thought, feeling, and presence. What looks like resistance to change is often a preference for physiological steadiness. The comfort zone provides a landscape where the system knows how to function without strain. Familiarity as a reduction of cognitive load. New situations demand interpretation. What are the rules? What is expected? What matters here? For some minds, this process is stimulating. For others, it is taxing, even when curiosity is present. Familiar settings remove that burden. Decisions become automatic. Attention narrows to what is meaningful, and mental effort decreases. The mind no longer needs to orient itself repeatedly. Staying within the comfort zone preserves cognitive clarity. It allows thinking to go deeper rather than wider. What appears as avoidance of novelty is often a choice to protect mental bandwidth. Emotional safety built through repeated environments. Emotional safety is often created through repetition. Knowing how interactions usually unfold, how one is received, and what emotional risks are present reduces inner tension. Over time, familiarity becomes a container where feelings can exist without constant self-protection. In new environments, emotional signals must be filtered carefully. Expression may feel tentative, responses guarded. In known spaces, that vigilance softens. Loving the comfort zone reflects a desire to remain emotionally open without needing armor. Stability allows vulnerability to exist quietly without being tested at every turn. Discomfort avoidance versus threat sensitivity. Avoiding discomfort is often confused with weakness, but for some people, it reflects heightened threat sensitivity rather than fear. Their system registers uncertainty as meaningful information, not as an abstract challenge. Subtle cues of instability, social tension, or unpredictability are picked up early. This sensitivity creates caution. Discomfort is not merely unpleasant, it signals potential overload. Choosing familiar ground reduces unnecessary activation. What appears as playing it safe is often a calibrated response. The person is not avoiding growth, but unnecessary strain that offers little internal return. Identity stabilization through known patterns. Repeated environments help stabilize identity. Roles, values, and preferences become clearer when they are not constantly renegotiated. The self does not need to reshape itself to fit shifting expectations. In familiar settings, identity feels continuous rather than fragmented. Choices align more easily with internal values because external variables remain steady. Leaving the comfort zone repeatedly can blur this sense of self for those who rely on internal coherence. Staying close to what is known helps the identity remain intact and recognizable. Energy conservation, mistaken for lack of ambition. People who stay in their comfort zone are often assumed to lack drive. In reality, many are carefully conserving energy. Novelty, risk, and adaptation are costly processes, and not all systems replenish at the same rate. By limiting unnecessary expansion, energy is preserved for what matters most. Effort is invested selectively rather than constantly. This can look like stagnation from the outside. Internally, it is often a strategic allocation of resources, prioritizing sustainability over constant movement. Comfort zones as regulation, not stagnation. For many people, the comfort zone is not a place they hide. It is a place where their system regulates itself. Within familiar boundaries, attention stabilizes, emotions remain accessible, and the body does not stay on alert. Growth, for these individuals, does not come from constant expansion. It comes from depth. Staying in known territory allows skills, insight, and self-understanding to develop quietly over time. Movement still happens, but it is internal before it becomes external. What looks like stillness is often integration. The comfort zone becomes a foundation rather than a ceiling, a place where the self can organize itself before choosing when and if to move outward. Loving the comfort zone is rarely about fear, laziness, or refusal to grow. It reflects a nervous system that values predictability, coherence, and sustainable energy use. Familiarity provides emotional safety, cognitive clarity, and a stable sense of self. When seen this way, the comfort zone is no longer a trap. It is a regulatory space where stability allows depth to form, and where growth happens on an internal timeline rather than under external pressure.